Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today, by some popular requests, we're going to do another video on basketball. And I've spent most of the day sorting through basketball cards. So in honor of making this a basketball day, we're going to do something, go through some 1987 flair. Recently I bought a 1986 lot of graded PSA 86 Flair basketball cards. Well, this was something similar in an 87 Flair basketball cards. Today, if you hear any background noise in terms of the wind and whatnot, it's because, as like in most of the country, we're experiencing some killer weather here. I feel like I'm in the Wizard of Oz and we're all going to blow away at any second here. So let's start with this one. These are all in numerical order. So this is card number 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabaar in an excellent to mint 6. All right, so obviously a nice card. This is one of those cards that you really, if you're putting together the 87 set, this is kind of one of those you want to bang out quick. Greg Ballard in a 7. So I bought 2 lots from the same guy on eBay. One lot, most of the cards were 7s. The other lot, most of the cards were 8s. This is Gene Banks in the near mint 7. And we have a Charles Barkley in a 7. Sorry for the reflection on the holders, but I don't really think it's avoidable in my current situation. Maybe when I get once I buy the new house and I have like a studio room, I'll get the lights and we'll get that all squared away. But Benoit Benjamin in a 7. Larry Bird in an 8. So this is the kind of card you want to have in an 8. It looks good. So, as I was saying, I bought a lot in 7s. I don't know if it had 30 cards in it or something to that effect. Maybe 25 cards in it. And then a lot of 15 cards in 8s. Well, in each lot, there was a Larry Bird. There was a Larry Bird 7 and a Larry Bird 8. Obviously, I kept the Larry Bird 8. It looks good. And I've already sold the 7, so that was good. I got these probably like about a week or two ago. I didn't really have time to put together the video until today. Figured on the windiest day of existence, today was a good day to do it. Tony Brown in a 7. Matt Gage in a 7. So, there was going to be commons in a lot like this, but I was okay with that because, when can you ever get cards, this many cards, this cheap? Joe Barry Carroll in a 7. So, from the 80s, so I'm going to think about this one as I'm doing the video, but I would say that from the 80s, well, I'd like to get your opinions in the comments on this, actually. So obviously, I would say that the 1986 Flair set is probably the most iconic set of the 1980s. But my question really is to you, what's your favorite basketball set of the 80s? And what do you think of besides the 86 Flair, what do you think is the next most iconic set? Is it 80-81 because of Magic and Bird? Is it this 87 set? Is it the 81-82? Is it one of those star sets? Or is it something later? Is it the 88? Because of a number of key rookies in that 88 set. Let me know in the comments what your favorite set is for basketball. I'm really curious about that, and we might be able to do some more videos related to that. But I'm really curious. I'll give you my opinion at the end for sure. So here's Bill Cartwright, near mint 8. So that came from the lot of 8s. Michael Cooper in a 7. And I will give you the pricing on this as I remember it, roughly. Terry Cummings in a 7. Adrian Dantley, a nice card, in a 7. Clyde Drexler in an 8. So most of these cards that I have in an 8, there's probably a pretty good chance that there's a 7 listed in my eBay store. So be sure to check that link in the description below. So Clyde Drexler. For those of you who watch the channel, you know that I just picked up a Clyde Drexler rookie, which is from the 86 set this past weekend at the flea market. So I was really excited about that. I'll link that video somewhere in the description. I'll also link the video for the 86 wax. I'm sorry, the 86 PSA video in the description as well. Maybe link a couple of other basketball related videos. 87 Joe Dumars in a 7. Mark Eaton in a 7. Dale Ellis in an 8. So I think I have a Dale Ellis in my eBay store right now. Alex English in a 7. Hall of Famer Alex English. Dr. J, Julius Erving in an 8. I don't think I have a Dr. J in a 7 though on my eBay store. Ricky Green in a 7. Derek Harper in a 7. And a Dennis Johnson, rest in peace, my man, in a 7. You got everything's blowing around outside. Feels like the house is going to start spinning like the Wizard of Oz, I think. 87 Flair, Steve Johnson in a 7. Bill Laimbeer in a 7. Lafayette Lever in a 7. Cliff Livingston in a 7. So most of the 7s worked out where I was paying under $10 a card. So you guys know what it costs to grade a card. You know how expensive it can be, especially right now. Anywhere between 30 to 50 bucks if a card's pre-1996, if my numbers are still correct. So getting these cards already graded in 7s or 8s for under $10 is a steal. Right? Karl Malone in a 8. Now the 8s I paid a little bit more. I want to say the 8s worked out to something like maybe $15, $16 a card. They were auctions that I won, so it wasn't exact figures, but whatever the auction was divided by the number of cards I got with the shipping and everything else, it kind of worked out to like $15 a card, I'm guessing, somewhere in that neighborhood. 87 Flair, Moses Malone, this is number, and then 7. Cedric Maxwell in a 7. Tim McCormick in a 7. So most of the commons came in 7s. The good news was that on the 8s, most of them were, like I said, star cards. Nate McMillan in a 7. And a Chris Mullin in an 8. Again, so a lot of the star cards came with 8s. and that was kind of a big deal. Charles Oakley in a 7, because right, I can always upgrade commons. I can always upgrade commons in a easily, fairly inexpensively. So, and last batch here, Sam Perkins in a 7, Terry Porter in a 7, Paul Presley in a 7. Now, when I bought these, I kind of thought to myself, can you put together a whole set graded? And, you can sort of upgrade as you go along. I only do that because I already have a graded Michael Jordan. I'll probably do a separate video on just that Michael Jordan itself, because it was like literally the last card I bought before the pandemic started. And it's a fascinating story. I picked it up on eBay, and it's a great story because of what happened to the prices after that. Robert Reed in a 7. And I got a question for you in that video. So that might be one of the upcoming videos, guys, is the story behind that Michael Jordan graded card that I picked up to finish that set. 87 Flair Alvar Robinson in an 8. Ralph Sampson in an 8. Reggie Theus in an 8. I can't remember the name of that show that he was in, but I remember watching it as a kid. Head of the Class or something like that. I forget the exact name of the show. LaSalle Thompson in a 7. Gerald Wilkins in a 7. And then finish off with a couple of decent ones. Here we go. We got James Worthy in a 7. And a Larry Bird in an 8. Larry Bird sticker in an 8. There is a Larry Bird in a 7 sticker on my eBay store. If anybody's interested, you can certainly check that out. All right, so like I said, I picked these up relatively inexpensively. That's how I operate. I wait for the right deal to come along, and I try to jump on it. I want to thank you guys for watching. I really, really, really want to get your opinion on which set is the most iconic set for you of the 1980s of basketball, because I think that could spark some real debate, and I think that that's a pretty good question, because some people might say it's 80-81. Some people might say it's the 84 star. I know I go out looking for 84 star every time. Every time I see it, I buy it. But I'm not going to buy like a whole set because I think it would be incredibly expensive. And then just kind of the iffiness of those sets, that they're sort of big or different. They're subsets and sets and whatnot. So, and then maybe it's the 87 Flair, because that's, for a lot of people, they decide that's something they can afford to get. Or for some people, like I said, it might be the 88 Flair, because the 88 Flair has, Reggie Miller's rookie, Scottie Pippen's rookie, John Stockton's rookie, Dennis Rodman's rookie. Or maybe like I said, it's 81-82 because you like the look. Let me know in the comments. I think that's a great question. Hey guys, if you enjoy the content, please comment, like, subscribe. Really helps out the channel. I really love doing these videos. I enjoy it. I want to thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed, for your support, and for your continued support. The best way to support us is to subscribe. It's absolutely free. And tell me some of your stories about what your favorite cards are. What was your favorite card from this particular batch? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. And as always, happy hunting. Thanks, guys.